So you also are a professor. You teach at university.
That's correct.
Um, how do you think that COVID is going to affect education going forward?
So um, yeah, we were kind of talking a little bit off camera, and one of the things that I was thinking about then is the code schools. So there's one in Cedar Rapids, Delta V, which our friends at New Boco run, and you know they've already been seeing people before COVID that leave a job such as teller at the bank or clerk at Hy-Vee, and they go through a 6-month program or whatever the term, 18 weeks, whatever the term is for these code schools. And they land jobs where they literally double their income, and then a couple of years later double their income again. So right now, I think code schools are really, really going to do well. And the reason being is because, number one, those code schools can provide a very quick solution to a huge problem that about, what was it, 30 million people that, I don't know what the number was, that recently just applied for unemployment. Tech fields right now, we're still hiring and still hiring at ridiculous salaries. Now that might change in 3 to 6 months. I can't I can't predict that it won't, depending on how all this continues to go. And who knows what happens with different things. But right now, tech is not a bad place to be. And it never really has been. But now it's kind of like, people need solutions, and people need their data, and people need the ability to make decisions based on that data. And these code schools, you can learn how to be a programmer on the web. You can learn how to be a data scientist. I mean, they have different options. And a code school might run, depending on which one you go to, $15,000, $20,000, which seems pretty daunting, right? Especially if you're unemployed. But there are a couple of them out there that do a deferred situation where you don't even have to pay. You can go to school, get your degree from them. It's not a BS degree, but who cares? It's a degree that says I graduated from a school, and that school gave me the ability, and that school likely has partners that they could even help place you in. So you might even land a job and go from no income, or maybe you were working on the line at the factory and making 30 grand or something a year, to all of a sudden making 60, 75 grand a year, and your life has changed. And you don't have to go there for 4 years, and you don't have to take classes on, organizational psychology, and what was it we were talking about before, as I can't even remember, but it basically, like, these classes that are required to get a college bachelor's degree, which aren't completely useless, by the way. I'm not saying they're useless. I'm just saying it's bloat. And so as an educator in a computer science world, I see a huge opportunity for even introductory level programming. Um, People have already started to flock to that. I've seen increases in course sales on my basic introductory courses, because people are looking for ways to learn and better themselves, which has never changed, but now is even amplified. Some people, and I won't say everybody, because certainly not most of us, some people actually have a lot more time right now to do things like learn, which opens the door for that. But then going back up to the full, 50,000 foot view of a university, if the universities don't change what they're doing, I think they're going to be in a real big trouble. And part of that is just around, you got to bring 25,000 to 50,000 people from all around the world into one city, which in the past was not a big deal and actually quite enjoyable for most people, right? But now, who's going to want, or who's going to allow 25,000 people from disparate sources all across the world to come to one place and be like a melting pot of disease? We have this on our mind. And I'm not saying that this won't clear up. I'm very confident it will. And I'm very confident in 3 years from now, COVID-19 will be a distant memory as far as how we're being socially isolated. Now, we might still have some practices. Hopefully people will still wash their hands. That'd be great. But hopefully won't have to be wearing masks in public. Huge not a fan of that. So I think what the university in general has to do is figure out how they're going to pivot in order to compete with the code schools that they've basically said aren't really a factor against us right now, because I think they will be as this develops even more. And also figure out a way that they can get the students to still be able to get a quality education if they can't be in a brick and mortar building on a campus in a certain town.